Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, when it comes to spiritual enlightenment or spiritual freedom, the what if mentality we have in us is the sign of fear, sign of confusion, the sign of drama. And all this emotional fluctuation is there because of not able to see the truth of oneself. When we don't see who we are, fear is inevitable. The drama is natural to have in life. Only truth makes the what if mentality to stop. When you recognize the truth of who you are convinced and you become that. And the journey towards the truth also makes you understand the outer world, the relative world, the functioning world. Journey towards the truth makes you understand the mind, and the world is the mind. World is the mind because we have to participate with another human being, and that's mind. A mind is full of ideas, preference. When you understand your mind, you understand the world. Not just that, you understand more than the world. Basically, you will recognize the world is the pattern, including the mind. So, truth, seeing the truth, makes you let go that what if mentality. By the way, this what if mentality, this drama, inward drama, is happening from the past. The past struggle, the past pain. The, the what if is unfolding right now is the past. And we go through this what if, we narrate on this what if just to avoid the pain, to avoid the struggle, not to go through those experience. But we don't realize that just going through that what if narratives in our own head itself is the physical struggle, the mental struggle, and emotional struggle in the now. We are making ourselves suffer in the now, isn't it? When you go through the what if, aren't you struggling? Aren't you fluctuating in the body and mind? You are. When the truth is missing, when you don't see who you are, the fluctuation is present. And another reason to go through this what if is to for the brighter future, isn't it? We are living in the past, living in the future when the future is not even here. So what if, to avoid the future circumstances, the future struggle, the future pain. But no one knows what's the future hold. Yes, the pre-plan is okay in the relative sense. To understand how you want things to be, it's fine. But even you have a plan, the blueprint for your future, the moment unfolds in a way that against our preference. And when that is happening, when that will happen, then we have to adjust according to that future moment. So we got to be flexible. You cannot be rigid with the plan. Anyway, what if is what if right now that narrative is happening because of the past experience. The past experience left a residue in the head as an idea. and that what if story is unfolding, associating with the future. And when that is happening, we are struggling in the moment, in the now. So it's okay to rearrange your mind with the what if to avoid the physical circumstances. But when you are planning in your head, rearranging the mind with the what if, we are also not trusting ourselves. We're not allowing ourselves to be who we are. Who we are is the consciousness. The nature of the consciousness is conscious and empty. When you are empty and conscious, you can see the details in the moment. And that's where the true learning happens in the world, not holding on to the past. So we gotta learn to anchor in the moment, not holding on to the past, not projecting into the future. Just here. This is where the life happens. But this is just the information, isn't it? To really embody who you are and live with that, you have to settle in it. And the only way to rest in who you are, you have to work on your conditioning. If you don't examine the conditioning itself is the driving uh, is the driving mode right now. The conditioning itself is the present. The conditioning self is who you are. And conditioning self is the ego self. When the truth is missing, who you are is the ego. But when the truth is seen, it's a different different way to see the world, different way to see yourself. So examining is the way to undo the conditioning, and undoing the conditioning is the way to see the truth of who you are. So it's hard to believe, isn't it? I'm not asking you to believe me. Don't believe me. But you must do the work. If nothing is helping you to let go that what if drama in yourself, there is always another what if unfolding in your life. That means you don't know who you are. You don't see the truth of who you are. The unchanging truth is missing. Even you are that. When you don't see it, that's where the what if comes in. What if narratives, drama. So here's an exercise for you. You go through this what if drama in your head. You sit down and ask yourself, why do I go through this what if game in myself? What's the reason to prolong this mental story, this mental drama? Don't say that you don't have it. There is what if. If you don't go through this what if, then you have the fear, isn't it? If you don't see the what if right now, another way to see what if scenario is your fear. Again, so if you see this and none of the practice is helping you to overcome the fear, overcome this mental and emotional fluctuation in your life, I invite you to try the self inquiry. Self inquiry journey is to understand yourself thoroughly, to understand the mind, to understand the nature of the mind, how the mind comes into existence and how the mind becomes real. Right now you see the mind as real, isn't it? You see certain mind is real. You hold certain preference because you see the truth in it. Yes, it might be the relative truth. There's something happening in your life, in the physical world, that something worked with certain perspective and action, and from that sudden belief is ingrained in you, and that's the preference, that's the movement in your life. But that is a relative movement. And a true freedom, spiritual enlightenment, is about going beyond the duality, beyond the physical freedom. The physical freedom, the outer freedom, is momentary. It comes and goes, isn't it? And to maintain the freedom, you have to put constant effort. And when you're putting the constant effort, there's a struggle. There's a physical struggle. There's a mental struggle, emotional struggle. So the effort is ongoing, the struggle is ongoing, and that's the world, the relative world. But even the relative world doesn't have to be doesn't have to be crazy effort. There's a way to minimize the effort and maximize the result. That can only happen when you start to be present, when you start to anchor in who you are, which is the consciousness. The consciousness can be present, is present every day, every moment. The only way to ignore the who you are is the attachment to mental identification. That makes you forget to be who you are. Drama colors the consciousness and we get lost in the color and we forget who we are. And because of that, we have a hard time to differentiate ourselves from the game that we are playing. Life is a game. Outside of you is is game. But the game is so real because you see the game is true and you just dive into it and you forget. There's a, there's no distance, no gap, no space between who you are and the game. When there's no space, no gap, you're so into the game that you're playing, whatever game you're playing, with another human being, with the world. And because of no gap, you're mentally, emotionally involved in it. Why? Because of the fear. Fear of being nobody, fear of losing the fun, fear of losing the comfort in your life. And the spiritual journey is about detaching yourself from all identification, detaching yourself. Because everything outside of you, including your mind, is changing, shifting. The only thing that is unchanging is the consciousness itself, and that's who you are. And to take the seat of the consciousness or to reclaim who you are as consciousness, I would say the only way to reclaim who you are and end that what if story in your head, the fearful story, the drama in your head, is examining. So, as I mentioned, you investigate. You are going through these mental narratives with what if, to avoid the pain and struggle. You ask yourself, why am I going through these mental narratives with what if? Just sit with that. What if? Why am I dragging myself with this perception of what if? Sit with it, and the reason starts to resurface. Whatever reason resurface first. Now, yes, to avoid the future stuff, avoid the future pain and struggle. You see that as an answer, or maybe different answer. Then you ask yourself, use that answer. Why is that important? And then there's the next answer. So this way, whatever answer resurfaces, you got to utilize your answer to create the inward journey. So what if that mental narratives drama is a surface movement in you, isn't it? But that surface movement is happening from the deep ingrained conditioning in you, which is the ingrained belief. So tracing your mind backward with the why is the way to get to the root. And once you see the root cause of the suffering, fluctuation, you don't plant the new seed there, especially the positive seed. If you want to end the struggle, inward struggle, drama for good, you don't plant this positive seed. You have to go beyond the positive seed. The true freedom is going beyond the negative and positive. Truth of who you are is not positive meaning, is not a negative meaning. You have to go beyond. So when you see the root cause of the suffering, the root must be dismantled as well. You are holding on to that root and your life is happening from that root, then you got to ask yourself, why am I attached to this root, this ingrained belief? And that will make you experience the fear. And then when you see the fear, then you keep dismantling backward, keep tracing the mind backward until you reach no mind. Tracing back with the why is a simple way to go from the surface mentality to ingrained belief and all the way to no mind. From the gross mind, subtle mind, and subtlest mind. All mind must be dismantled to see what remains when all mind is gone. And that's where you find yourself. That's where you see yourself. And then to see yourself, you have to ask yourself, who am I? The who am I is the point to be free or to still not free. If you do the dismantling work thoroughly, when you ask who am I, you catch yourself. But if you're not thorough, when you ask yourself who am I, that's where you miss it, miss the target, and you are the target. So truth exists, you are the truth, but this truth is not mine. Okay, it's there, but to see it, you really have to be thorough. So today we're talking about the ending the what if mentality. We can use that scenario of our lives to understand the nature of the mind, and if you keep going further, you can reach no mind. You will reach to the point that where you cannot dismantle your mind any further. So this is the way to be thorough of your mind, and this is just one of the scenario. Now there's a lot of fear, a lot of friction that we go through in life, isn't it? And you have to investigate all your friction, all your fight, all your conflict. And this is the way to be really thorough. And if you do this work, if you become thorough of your mind, you will not fail. The only way to fail in the enlightenment journey is not being thorough, not able to be thorough of one's own mind. If you are thorough of your mind, when you ask, who am I? The real shift happens. Only reason to fail in the spiritual journey, enlightenment journey, is the lack of self-inquiry. Okay, I hope this video makes sense to you, and thank you for watching. I hope the videos are pointing you towards the direction that everyone is seeking. The work is not there, but the desire for freedom is there. So what's left is you putting your effort. Anyway, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now.